Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of the original guru of good game. And I am your host, the original guru himself, Zero Game. I want to give a shout out and some love and a big old OG hug to everybody who listens. Really appreciate your patronage. I really thank you so much for keep listening to my old crazy ass talking crazy shit. And for those that I once listened and no longer listening, I appreciate you listening for as long as you did. And if ever you get tired of whatever it is you out there listening to and you haven't found what you're listening for, please come back. I would love to have you come back and listen some more. Anyway, we gonna get into something a little bit political today. Normally, I try to stay away from politics. And the only reason why is because it is such a grimy game. It really is grimy. So I try to avoid it just to keep the filth from getting on me. But unfortunately, in the past week, I have no choice but to speak on this one. Because this shit just went off the cliff. And I mean, it just really went off the cliff. I am not understanding these folks. I understand their fear, but I'm not understanding their actions. And the reason I say this is because if you paid attention to this whole insurrection situation, if you watched any of the videos, because I know the whole world watching, so I know y'all saw it. But if you paid any close attention to the people that were in them videos that were in part of this insurrection, our own U.S. president hyped up, riled up, and then sent them folks down there to storm Capitol Hill, and his shit show ass stood right there on stage and vowed to march with these people as we're going to go down there and we're going to march and we're going to fight and we're going to take back America and make America great again, or whatever the fuck his little slogan bullshit is. And when it was time to go, he got in his car and drove in the other fucking direction. And once again, this brings me back to my same point. For all of those politicians that stoked this insurrection, that kept with this conspiracy theories, the lies, the half-truths, the spin, the make-believe shit, I want to ask you people who are supporting them, how come none of them ever seem to march with you? They sure quick to sit there and claim they on your side. They sure quick to claim that they got your back and that they looking out for you. But when it come down time to actually putting action into play instead of a bunch of rhetoric, they go back to their office and have a damn seat. They go back to their home state and have a damn seat. But none of them seem to want to come down there and protest with you or march with you. I mean, on the Democratic side, I mean, you know, they marching and protesting along with the Black Lives Matter and we are the 99% and whatever else. But where are your politicians at? How come none of them making the effort to come down there and lock arms with you and walk down the street and hold a sign and chant "We shall overcome" or whatever the hell it is y'all want to chant? How come they don't never show up for y'all like that? But they the first ones to get in front of a microphone, get in front of a camera, and tell you how they support you and you need to support them and we gonna do this together and we're working together and we're gonna fight together. And then when the fighting start, they go in the opposite damn direction and leave you standing there holding the bag. I'm just bringing that up because that might be a question you might want to ask your politician. Now, back to the original subject here. This entire insurrection, this entire division in this country can all be attributed to the 1% wealth class in this country. This is all they're doing. They orchestrated this shit from the giddy up and been orchestrating it ever since. And unfortunately, the masses of people that are following this rhetoric that these politicians and President shit show is putting out, you've been conned. You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. You've been bullshitted to the highest level of bullshittery. They are fucking with your head and trying to get you to believe that the bullshit they trying to get you to do is somehow righteous and in your best interest. It is not. It is in their best interest that they keep you afraid. And then they turn that fear and mask it with anger. So you don't actually have to confront your fear. You just have to get angry. And that's the move they pulling. All those people in that insurrection, all that you seen was motivated by their fear. These people are scared. Now, they too arrogant like the president to admit they fear. But everything you seen happen was based on fear. Fear of being oppressed. Fear of being ostracized. Fear of being replaced. Fear of what the future holds because it is so bleak at the moment. And that fear internalizes itself and masks itself as anger. And then you take that anger because that gives you action. Because most people, when they fear, they don't act. You know, you say frozen by fear. But anger motivates you to make an action or a move or do something. So their fear is being turned into anger, and it is being manipulated. It is being stoked. It is being encouraged by the elite rich people in this country, which Donald Trump is one of them. If he's Mr. Billionaire like he claimed, he's one of the elitists. Of course he wants you to go down there and riot and act a damn fool and do stuff in his name. That makes him look good. That makes him look great. But it does not help you at all. All this stuff that y'all went and did, and now you got the FBI, NSA, Homeland Security, whoever the fuck they is, they gonna be up your ass for at least the next 5 years. Maybe not the whole 5, but I would guarantee for at least the next 4 years, they gonna severely be up your ass, watching everything you do, reading everything you post, and may even be listening in on every conversation that you have. But all of this division in this country can be laid at the feet of the 1%. This is how they stay in power and how they stay in control. Because if all those people who were protesting and marching on Trump's behalf, if they actually knew what these elitists were doing to them, and they actually sat down and talked with some of us on the other side, and we actually sat down and had a conversation about what we agree on compared to what we disagree on, we will find that we have more things that we agree on than them few minuscule things we disagree on. And that is their fear. The elitists, that is what they fear, that we will come together and realize what we have in common and what we agree on. And that will change the society that we live in America. And that's what they fear, because it would eliminate their power control. They wouldn't be able to sit at the top of the mountain anymore and look down upon us and throw snowballs at us and tell us we should be honored that we got popped in the forehead with a snowball. That's what they fear. See, us, the working people, the average people, the working poor, the working not poor, or just poor, whatever classification you in, as far as the financial classification, we already struggling and dealing with hardship and trying to make ends meet. They don't have to worry about that. All they ends is meeting like a motherfucker. It's us that's trying to make our ends meet. But if we actually got together and we actually sat down and had a real conversation, not a shouting match, not a my point is better than your point, just a simple conversation about what we agree on, we will find that we have more things in common with each other than we do with them elitist rich bastards. Now, are all rich people elitists? No, not even close. I wouldn't even dare to say that. But what I will say is those that probably handle, manage, or consult for the rich, oh, those are the elitists. And they talk them into being elitists because, oh, you're rich now. If you try to do this, do that, or interact with these folks and those folks, they're going to take all your money and you're going to be back poor again. So, you know, they tend to fall into the trap. Not their fault, not our fault. It's them greedy motherfuckers just whispering in their ear, their fault. And we can lay all of this insurrection, all of this divisiveness at the feet of the 1% elitist people such as President Trump and his shit show administration. All it was about was enriching himself. And he using you people to do it. He scammed y'all into believing that he actually understand what it's like to be one of the working poor or one of the working middle class or just poor. He has no idea. Remember, he was born rich. Daddy had $200 million the day Donald popped out his mama's ass. Then when the day that dad finally went to glory, he left $200 million to President Shit Show. So he's never known what it's like to be working poor, to be struggling, trying to figure out how to pay this bill, make ends meet. And yet we put so much faith in him. But it was a con job, plain and simple. He conned American public. He got y'all to vote for him. And what we saw at Capitol Hill was the result of what he was trying to accomplish as president. And that's a sad day in America. It really is. But I'm not going to dwell forever on that. And I don't think we all should dwell forever on it. What I think we should do is show some empathy and some pity for those people who are following him, because they going to need it, because they don't realize how badly they got duped, conned, bullshitted, and hoodwinked, that now they going to face that when they go home. They're already talking about a number of people who were identified at that insurrection. Oh, they already lost their job. They came home to no job. Now, is Trump going to dish out some money? He going to help them survive while they looking for work? I highly doubt it. And that is just the saddest thing we are seeing right now. It really is. This administration has been a shit show. The president is a shit show in himself. And now America looks like the world's biggest shit show. And we need to fix that and correct that ASAP. And we do that by stop fighting one another and start working together with one another. All we need to do is work on the things that we agree on. And the stuff that we disagree on, we can debate that later in the halls of Congress or the Senate or back in your own district or amongst yourselves at the coffee shop. And then we can work out compromises on our differences. But the things that we agree on, the things that we believe that should take place in this country, that's the things that we should be working on right now. Almost as if we should have been working on it yesterday. But that's what we need to work on. That's what we need to move forward in this country. To speak to these MAGA people, Trump supporters, whoever the fuck they want to call themselves, and say, look, let us sit down and figure out what it is that you want, what it is that we want, and let's find the stuff that we agree on, and we work on that together, and then we let the other stuff go to the back burner, and that's what we'll negotiate on and compromise on when we can get the stuff that we agree on done first. And that'll be better for everybody in the country. They'll benefit, we'll benefit. Everybody will have a benefit and a leg up, and maybe, just maybe, this depression we about to go through won't be as bad and as long as it could be. So let's just hope on that. So that's my message of unity to everybody listening, including those that are part of the support Trump crowd. I have no animosity towards you. I have no hatred towards you. I think you just like the rest of us. You got fears about your future, and you just trying to figure out how to get rid of that fear and how to secure a future for yourself that doesn't require you being scared all the time. That's the rest of us. We all doing the same thing. It's happening to all of us. But I believe that if we work together